Yeah, so I'm a one-man band over here, trying to control everything over here. But so in a world of confusion with what's going on around this whole world, there's very few people that I actually trust with true information that's not from a news source. This gentleman over here not happens to only be one of those resources, but he also happens to have a lot of other resources from around the world. I wanted to have him on over here to talk a little bit more about his business, talk a little bit about what he does, but then also, just shoot the shit about what's going on in his world. So
Oh,
I'll let
yeah.
him talk a little bit about himself and his business.
Well, thanks for having me on, Tim. This is freaking awesome. And so, just before we start, I brought two only Intel stickers. Go straight to.
I still have only, it's like OnlyFans,
It's a,
but only Intel.
only Intel.
That's awesome. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah. No
Yeah, I
worries.
still have the sticker for the back of the car, the ibuprofen and change your socks.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So if any veteran out there, obviously will appreciate that little jab and joke, but appreciate that. I'm gonna throw this right on the same pot, right above that one. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
hell yeah. No, so um I have my page at Rickynomics. I'm Rick, and so a little bit about myself. I was I come from Colombian parents. I'm first generation American. I grew up in New York, traveled around the world. I had that privilege to be able to travel to Colombia, Mexico, Jamaica, and Turkey, Venezuela, all these things before I joined the Army. But before joining the Army, I went to St. John's University for Homeland Corporate Security
Hmm.
and Criminal Justice. And I was like, you know what? I really need to apply this stuff. So let me go into the Army as an intelligence analyst. And I did that. Did that for 5 years. I was deployed to Afghanistan. Right after that, while I was in the Army, I was going to a lot of different trainings around the country. Best one was Fort Hood. I was able to stay at a four-star hotel, so that's what made it nice. Yeah.
I was say Fort Hood,
You know, like
nice,
when I heard like Fort Hood, I was like, oh no, but you're staying at a hotel. I'm like,
sweet.
sweet.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. And then after that, I was like, I used my GI Bill and I got my MBA with a concentration in real estate. And I was doing that, and I was kind of like, I still want to help people. And non-governmental agencies that were part of counter human trafficking reached out to me. I was able to help them out.
Oh
Then my
wow.
skills started to be shown on my Rickonomics page. So I've helped in situations where it's like missing persons, where it's fraud, and using all the things that I learned from intelligence analysis and in criminal justice. And uh, so now I use all my intelligence skills for my own business, which is in real estate and mortgages, while also giving back to the Intel community through my writings at Rickonomics at Instagram. So yeah, that's
I didn't even know that you went to the college beforehand. I didn't even know that you went to St. John's.
yeah, St. John's. I'm a repeat customer, you know.
So the way that we met, Rick comes to my gym,
Mhm.
and from afar I see him every day. We got a chance to shoot the shit one time, and then I followed him on Instagram, and then one day he just vanishes. Like no trace, no nothing, just outright. I was like, oh, I haven't seen Rick in a while. And then I look on Instagram, and then poof, this guy's in Colombia teaching people how to shoot from a car.
Yeah, I there's a range down there. You can find them. It's a Polígono at Mozambique. I have them on my page. They are run by a Colombian Special Forces group. They teach very out of the box stuff. I mean, like you have a country that's been in over 60, 70 years of civil war,
Mm.
and they have their combat veterans in as close quarter as you can get, and they are incredible to learn from. And you get to do cool stuff like shoot from a moving vehicle, which was probably one of the most like step out of your comfort zone things that I was able to do. So.
I mean, it was pretty badass looking on Instagram. I'll say that.
Oh yeah,
I
well,
was very jealous also because that shit looked also fun as hell.
yeah.
To be able to shoot from a moving car, like I don't think people realize how hard that is, and to be accurate too, and to hit your target as well.
Yeah, it is. Uh, it's one of those things where the barrier is like the fear of like, am I doing this right? Am I moving? And like this is a stressful
Am I gonna
situation. We're not
miss?
going slow, and that's the other
They're
thing
cutting
too. You're
corners.
cutting a
Yeah.
corner, yeah. So, but it's like people would be like, oh, but that's just in Hollywood. I'm like, listen, when you go outside of this country, or even you go to some parts in this country, you have to understand this is where intelligence comes into play. You have to think like the enemy, and the
Mm-hmm.
enemy is going to shoot from the car at you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the primary responsibility of the intelligence analyst is like, can I understand my enemy to the point where I can be in their shoes, understand everything, and back brief it to my leadership or to my decision maker so that they can have the appropriate information to make decisions off that. Like, hey, people are going to be shooting from moving vehicles, even though it's not practical from a conventional point of view, but it's going to happen.
Right.
So you might as well be ready
Better to
for
be
it.
prepared than not prepared.
Exactly. And if you have to do it, then you can do it, you know? Like,
How did that opportunity even happen? Did they reach out to you or you reach out to them?
I split my time in Colombia and United States. This year I wanted to enjoy a summer in New York, even though it's cloudy.
Oh, I
Sunny
say, but yeah,
says
majority of our summer has been raining and cloudy.
but
Or on the days that it's been nice, it's been over 100 degrees and humid as hell.
yeah, yeah. But you know what? Being with the people and stuff like that was nice. But in so when I got out of the army, I still had that itch to train.
Mm.
So I did a combative driver's course in Arizona. That was like, you know, you were learning how to pit vehicles and stuff like that. And I was like, and you know, and you just crave more training. But I wanted to learn from different angles. So when I went to Colombia, I was seeking training facilities with people with experience, and I was like, well, this is in Beijing, you know, well, like right on the outside of it. I live there part time, and San Alejo, who runs the facility, is incredible.
Mm.
So he he showed his training. We did a lot of things together, and I was like, wow, these people are really out of the box, and it's really accessible, a little bit more accessible to for these types of trainings than you would in the United States, which is very strange to say because right,
Yeah,
because
but
you
yeah,
think,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
see, you just saw my eyes open up. I'm like,
yeah,
really?
yeah, well, because a lot of like it's a lot of people when they think of like gun ranges, it's like you know, you put a piece of paper, goes down the
Yeah,
thing, comes back down. It's like no one's like, okay, well, we're gonna go through a building with live ammo, and we're gonna learn see like close quarter battle,
preach and
and we're
clear.
gonna bring you from zero, from never knowing how to handle a pistol, to 100, so that you at least know what it feels like to move around and shoot.
Mm.
And very experienced people down there. And I just was going down the list of trainers, and he's the one I had the biggest click with. So.
It's awesome
Yeah.
you got that experience though, because I'm sure that also fills your cup in other ways that you're looking to not only just help people, but
Hmm.
essentially helping the whole country being able to, not have their
Hmm.
troops be fully sustainable to handle whatever combat comes down their way.
No, exactly, because because it's not normal for intelligence analysts to go deep into like the whole combative aspects. It's very cerebral,
Mm.
right? But the thing is that battle and combat and violence is that.
Right.
So if you train yourself to understand, like, if I have to write a report for a SWAT team or for a kinetic unit, someone that's doing a lot of action, I would love to be able to write in a way that it's like meaningful to them, right? Not like, well, this guy obviously just sits in an office all day, you know, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So that those things help inform my ability to write, and that's the pride I do, and it's fun, you know. It's
I mean, yeah, well,
uh,
especially if you're somebody who is an enthusiast, a Second Amendment enthusiast, and
hmm.
you're also someone who served in this military with appreciation for this military in itself.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun as hell.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'm honestly jealous because that's some shit I would like to do. Just one day, just fucking get down to the
Anytime,
range.
man, come with me, you
I mean,
know.
if I could drop everything and just go to Colombia for a week and just do some shit like that, I fucking would. Because one thing I did miss though, like there's very few things that I do miss when I was in the Army Guard, especially.
Hmm.
I missed going out to the range, and I
Hmm.
also missed essentially like disassemble and
Hmm.
reassembly of a weapon that's clean.
Hmm.
When we got a chance in basic training, well, no, I'm sorry, when we got a chance to do military police training, when we got to the AIT part of it, we got a chance to shoot the Mark 19, and
Nice.
that is hands down still to this day my favorite piece of equipment to ever shoot. Just because, for those that don't know what a Mark 19 is, it is basically an automatic grenade launcher.
Hmm.
And it is think about how a 50 cal looks, like a 50 cal machine gun, not a 50 cal sniper,
Hmm.
a 50 cal machine gun where you have to
Hmm.
sit behind it and then you have to, press down on the top and it shoots these big ass bullets.
Hmm.
Now imagine that, but now it's shooting grenades,
Yeah.
basically, and
Hmm.
being able to take out a whole meter square within 4 of them.
Yeah.
It was definitely my most fun piece of equipment to shoot, but also one of the most pain in the ass pieces of equipment to disassemble and reassemble within time.
Mm-hmm.
I will never forget my back in basic when we had to go through everything and the disassembly of that weapon, and then I missed the firing pin, and
Only the thing that makes it go boom.
so when the instructor came around and he goes, "Oh yeah, yeah, shoot it."
Hmm.
No, nothing. Just straight up like the sheer, just like immediately a second it hit. Fuck, and it went, "Yeah, dipshit, figure it out."
Uh,
Yeah, that's I don't miss cleaning the fucker either. Like
no.
that's one thing. I don't know. Some people find it therapeutic to sit there and clean their weapons, like which
Hmm.
all to you. I'll give you my weapon to clean.
Yeah, there you go. You gotta find those people. Here you go. Here's some therapy.
Clear your therapy. You'll find me at the gym.
Exactly.
But so what was the whole inspiration between not only just you starting the page, but now the actual intel itself? Like you said before that you wanted to get back to your people, you want to get back to people in another
Mhm.
way.
Mhm.
What keeps the fire going that you want to keep yourself up to date? Is it because of how, you know,
Mhm.
fucked up everything is currently right now and where this whole world could be going if things don't calm the hell down?
I I would say the urge to do these things is start at a young age. My mom never took ignorance as an answer.
Hmm.
So she was always like, listen, you're going to figure it out or we're screwed. Like, and it was like, well, how do I get better at, and like in the early days, like, like when I was in high school, it's like, all right, how do you maximize Google? How do you maximize the basic search engines? How do you maximize these things? How do you know what you're reading is actually real or not? And then like, when I was going, and what fuels me is like when you are not just reading, but you're reading and you're informed through experience.
Hmm.
It's like a high for me where it's like, wow, you know what? I wrote something and it's going to mean saving lives. It's going to mean someone saving money, saving their business, finding somebody that they were looking for. And it's like, I think just inherently people want to contribute to something bigger than themselves, whether it's a cause, whether it's religion or it's service or it's anything else. But it's like my form of getting that satisfaction is like, here you go. This is the answer that's going to help you accomplish what you need to do. And then it's like if you take like a psychology point of view, it's like when I helped my mom help her business.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
I didn't have to sit with a shrink to figure that out, but like
No,
it's
but
like
like you said,
there's a
it's that feeling of fulfillment that you get through actual service.
yeah, exactly. That's that ability to help is the drive.
That's awesome to hear because then that even just makes someone like myself who is the most picky with my news sources
Hmm.
because constantly
Hmm.
I'm always looking for the real truth.
Hmm.
My thing is we're always misled by the mainstream news no matter what, or they're where things that they're talking about happened like 2 weeks ago, and
Hmm.
or something is so biased. So, you got the news networks that are completely now just catering to their own people, not
Hmm.
just catering to the actual public themselves. Like one news channel that I was watching a lot until they went
Hmm.
fully corrupted with themselves was The Hill. And that's when Crystal and Cigar were on. And
Hmm.
then when they realized that they weren't able to actually speak their truths anymore, they left. So they started breaking points, and then I immediately started watching them because it's both standpoints from both views, but then also they have the full spectrum of what's going on with the world in itself,
Hmm.
coming from non-biased perspectives. But then when they say it's a biased perspective, they say it that this
Hmm.
is what my personal opinion
Hmm.
is of something. And that's what this generation is completely lacking more of is actual non-biased, true fact information that
Hmm.
can be digestible to the public.
Hmm.
Because the problem is now a lot of people don't even ask someone if they ever read the fucking iTunes document before they signed it,
Oh yeah.
or
Yeah.
all these other like quickly click and
Hmm.
then sign away. You think some people are going to really read all like the deepest details unless they're fully into it?
Hmm.
No, the problem is majority of the news that's happening in today's world is that it's not sexy. It's not attachable to the news. It's not attachable to the eye. But the reality is when the effects of what's happening across the world is currently happening, then that's when they're going to get the attention. That's when everything is going to happen. Not the lead up point to everything. It's when it actually goes down. Not the stuff that's preventable, that if it just gets a little more attention, that we maybe would prevent something from happening. But no, that's not going to happen anyway.
Exactly. I would say the response to that, I think it's just a little bit more of a simpler, where you're standing, right? If you don't have a purpose of why you're trying to figure things out, you're going to be depressed, lost, everything else, because people confuse the illusion of being informed with something that's comfort, and comfort looks very different.
Say it a little louder for the
Yeah, yeah.
motherfuckers that are just so stuck in their biased version right now.
Well, comfort looks like different things because people have a framework of the world that they just want to find evidence to support.
Yeah,
It's a reality.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, those crazy people on the left, those crazy people on the right, those centrists that don't
If you're
believe
looking
anything.
for red, you're going to see red.
Exactly. And with intelligence analysis, it's like, well, I need to find what's relevant to my decision maker, to the mission. I need to be able to absorb what I can prove or what's functionally true, which is like a reality that either the enemy is thinking that I can take advantage of, right? And then use that for my own well-being or for the greater good of my organization. And people are just downing this like it's another form of liquor. You know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, I get it. Wow, I understand things. And meanwhile, it's just
the poison bringing their body.
And listen,
damn, that's such a good analogy with the alcohol point, because someone will just choose their choice of poison.
Yeah,
they're choosing their choice of poison to take in here. Damn, that fucking hits hard.
Yeah, it's I mean, I started to get disillusioned when I was in Afghanistan because when we see reports, we're like, well, that didn't happen.
Right. You're like, wait, what?
Wait, that's not who did that. Wait, what's going on? And then it's like, okay, well, there's the sporting event and there's the cameras and then there's the people editing what's going on. You can change the whole game when you can control what people see. And from that point of view, it's like, well, what should you be taking from the news? Let's just talk the horrible tragedy that they still need help. What's going on in Texas, the flood,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what really matters at this point? Which community suffered casualties, right? What's the numerical value of casualties? If we can agree on the number, we can agree on what these people need, not what's the leaning of the people getting attacked, like who are there. What is the demographic of gun owners there? That could matter in case you have to find out which houses have weapons and they were abandoned, right? So it depends on the mission, right? But if you're sitting there and it's like, oh, well, the world is falling apart because something happened with the weather, it's like, now you're just pissed. You know what I mean? Now it's like, yeah,
you found something to cater towards your rage.
Your bias of like the world's falling apart. Meanwhile, the amount of people who die from natural disasters has been on decline since like 1890. A hurricane would have wiped out people permanently. People didn't know it was coming in the 1800s.
There was no news channels that were broadcasting.
And now it's
even a radio.
Yeah, but no one pats themselves on the back that in this modern age, like, wow, like it went from like 98% mortality to 1% when it comes to natural disasters,
Yeah, especially ones that are preventable. Well, not preventable, but ones that are prepared for.
Yeah, like hurricanes, for example.
The hardest things to ever prepare for is tornadoes.
Yeah.
Tornadoes and earthquakes, you really have no predictions for.
Yeah, maybe this is a little bit of the bias, but it's like, bro, you live in tornado.
Yeah, tornado. But what I will say though is that we did have that. What was it? I think 2 years ago here on Long Island that we had that brief little mini touchdown over here in Ronkonkoma.
Let's go even back further. Remember Sandy?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's first off, it's even fucking wild to think that it's even 13 years that it happened.
When 2012 was supposed to be the end of the world.
Oh my God. I remember, not even that. I'll go even further back. Do you remember when the rapture was supposed to happen in 2011, in May of 2011 or so?
Yep, and then Y2K, and then
so for some reason there's always
it's about surviving everything, man. Yeah,
And I wonder why millennials and everyone else over here is all fucked up and wondering constantly on the angst of anxiety, on the edge of anxiety.
Yeah.
But like I remember distinctively during Sandy the what they never saw coming
Mhm.
fully happen, which was the collision of different storms and then morphing into a legitimate
Yeah.
superstorm.
Hmm.
And granted, some areas like my area, in Brentwood, we
Hmm.
saw some down trees, and the
Yep.
high school got a little damage. My
Hmm.
fence got a little damaged in the backyard, but we really didn't see any like significant flooding. But now
Hmm.
you go more towards by the water, by like
Hmm.
the Patchogue Bay, the Bayshore
Exactly.
Bay,
Hmm.
everywhere by the water. Oh, they
Hmm.
got annihilated.
I would say in those instances, like for example, I use Sandy as like a case study because you were able to see how New Yorkers react in a violent,
Mm.
destructive situation, right? And then like you can
Like long ass lines for gas.
like you see like okay, what were people not prepared for? They couldn't refrigerate their medications. They got desperate.
Mm.
Which communities didn't fall apart? Oh, it was the one where everyone knew their neighbors, like, hey, we're all good. Are you okay? And then there's other people who took advantage of the situation, and like
Hmm.
trying to get into empty homes that people left. And then it's like when you're able to look at that, it's like, well, this is what you need to be ready for, right? Because when the plague hit, right? What were people not prepared for? People did not have 3 weeks of food supply in their home.
No.
No, because like I was fortunate to be like, I think we should get ready. And people who listened,
When did you have that preparation?
I can't really put the date on it, but because it was like one of those things that sounds like it's through the rumor mill, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, hey, there's something crazy coming out of.
Because my initial thought was in February. Like
Hmm.
when February came around, I'm like, all right, this is starting to sound a little scary that we have a case over here on Long Island.
Hmm.
I'm like, I wonder what's gonna happen next.
It depends on who you ask because you have people who got the notification in November of the prior year. You know what I mean? You have people like because it's all about what the response is, not what's
Mm.
really happening, right? Like,
Well, it makes sense because back in December of 2019,
hmm.
both my folks
Hmm.
dramatically sick, like the
Yeah.
sickest. Like they both thought that they were gonna pass.
Hmm.
Like they both thought at that time frame, like that was it for them.
Yeah.
And then it comes out a few months later, like the very exact same symptoms that they
Hmm.
experienced
Hmm.
was exactly what COVID was.
Exactly. So when I was looking at it, because like, when you're like reading up, becoming an Intel analyst, you look at
Right.
like, well, I guess I'm just gonna
You're
get
hearing all the
ready.
news from
Yeah,
the
I'm
last
getting, I'm
week.
gonna get, I'm gonna prepare myself in a way that this is a bioweapon attack. I'm
Mm.
just because it might be extreme, right?
But it's better to
But
have
it's
that.
better, yeah. So let's say, okay, so what's gonna go? Pain medications, fever medications, and then you have that stored, and then you realize, like, wow, you know what? If I have my house ready for something like Sandy, I would also be ready for something like a plague
Hmm.
in a way, a little bit of changes. But just having things on standby,
Except
having
for toilet
these,
paper.
oh, no one would have ever
Dude,
foresaw.
dude.
Uh,
I still to this day, 5 years later,
baby wipes, right there. It was
I
right there.
I had yeah. But toilet paper,
Yeah.
out of all the perishable things and that we have in the freaking market, we choose toilet paper?
I'll be honest, man. If there was one, imagine if you're a toilet paper company and you're the marketing guys, like, yo, let's make it seem like we're gonna run out of toilet paper. If someone did that, infinite
That is
promotions forever because that is brilliant leverage of
because at
chaos.
the beginning, one per person at the restaurant, at the stores, it was just
Yeah.
one per person.
I was about to say your plug was the restaurant. That's a good move.
No, my plug was Planet Fitness at the time.
Oh, there we
So I
go.
was at the time I was working the overnights at Planet Fitness too.
Uh-huh.
So and I was still advancing my career and getting another certification
Hmm.
because I was still making ass money doing personal training.
Hmm.
But thankfully, the good managers at the time, I'll say no names at that point,
Hmm.
allowed me to go into the back and grab a couple of boxes of the big ass rolls of toilet
Ooh,
paper.
industrial setting.
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah.
so when everyone else is panicking, we were
Uh-huh.
we were we were pretty set, and also with the cases of water too.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people were fearful of their water,
Hmm.
and so again, the time frame where they were just allowing us, like the water's just going to go bad. We don't know when we're coming back. Just
Hmm.
we paid for a couple of cases, and then outright we took everything out, locked up the doors, and that was it.
Yeah, and it was the beginning of a lot of things that people started to think that maybe society is not as solid
No.
as people thought it is. And then now it's like when we look back at it in retrospect, it's like, geez, now I know who I can trust and who I can't, right?
Yeah.
Or like, wow, everyone who I thought was in my circle is like, they were willing to sell me out. Were will, you know what I mean? Isn't weird things, right?
Then it's also you get a chance to see by who's really getting the brainwashing of
Mm.
of what the media is telling
Hmm.
them because those
Who
are the people who are still wearing masks.
exactly? It's going back full circle, right? Now we know what reality we like. We all live in the same place, but not in the same reality. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like,
Mhm. No,
like
yeah,
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 like
facts.
yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely.
because it's like wow. Me, listen, I listen, I find out things that are just insane on a daily basis. Trying to prevent and do campaigns against counter human trafficking is the worst of society. You know what I mean? Especially now with what's going on in the media. But it's like, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely added on today's list. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong about don't like
yeah. We'll get
that's
back to that.
we will 100% get back to that.
But but I'm still optimistic. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not like a blind optimism. It's like, well, listen, I see your cross, I have mine under here, and it's like, look, I have my faith.
Yeah.
I have my faith because my faith also informs my why. Why am I doing all this? You know what I mean? Like and if you don't have this basis of like, you know what, there is still good in the world, and I'm going to add to it. I'm going to go out of my way, and if it even means that I have to perish in doing so and being and adding good into the world, then that's the way it's meant to be. You know,
That's what our
and
creator had.
exactly, and so that's my foundation on moving forward with reality. Because if you have faith, but you don't believe in a tomorrow, where is it? You know
Mm.
what I
Mm.
mean? Where?
You don't have man. Oh, that one was this fucking hit. Oh, that was that right there. Like the hardest of times, no matter what,
Hmm.
I've still had some faith at least.
Yeah.
Even during my, the episode I had 3 years ago.
Hmm.
There's a reason why I threw up all the pills that I threw up all the pills. I realized as something's happening, I'm like, nope, this is not what I'm here for.
Hmm.
And then that whole fucking thing clicks around, and then
Hmm.
once God really does enter your life, and
Hmm.
you really get a chance to see the broad spectrum of what
Hmm.
life is supposed to be,
Exactly.
there's a little bit more of that sense of not only just gratitude, but a
Hmm.
little bit more optimism that this world can be a better place. It's just a
Hmm.
matter of the right people's messages getting out there.
Hmm.
And it's another reason why I wanted to have you on as well, because you're someone who also has a great message behind your product and a great
Hmm.
message behind your truth. So that's the kind of people that I want to talk to. These are the kind of
Appreciate it.
people that I want to have on here and just talk to talk to the public, just to show them that like there's still a chance for good. It's just got to stop falling in line with
Hmm.
what the media is telling you.
Hmm.
Stop falling in line with your political party just because they're your political party. Challenge your political party with things that you don't agree with.
Well, it's even goes beyond that because it's you're not just fighting the doom scrolling or everything else. It's your own family, your own friends
Hmm.
that you love
In our relationships also.
will also influence your reality, and you're gonna almost seem insane when you're like, at the end of the day, thank God I'm alive and we're moving forward, and I got the resources and the faith to move forward to do good and be better in a way God sees it. You know what I mean? And it's like when you have that, what stops you? You know what I mean? Like what like
Yeah.
even if you take it from the most uh just like philosophical approach, and it's like, well, that is a pretty decent mentality to get you through hard times.
Hmm.
Because if you no one's getting better if they don't even want to get better, right? Like yeah.
We were literally just having that conversation before we went live over
Hmm.
here, about some certain family members that I have that,
Hmm.
it's no one's going to get better
Hmm.
unless they genuinely want better.
Hmm.
When I needed to get better and I
Hmm.
wanted to get better,
Hmm.
I got better. And
Hmm.
now 3 years later, still riding up that best wave as well.
It's people are afraid to let parts of themselves die. You know,
Mm,
that's the other thing too. It's like, oh, but that's who I am. It's like, is it though? Is it though? Because you're holding on to something doesn't mean
it's
that
who
it's
you are.
you. It doesn't mean it's you. Um,
Change is always possible for those that actually want it.
Exactly.
Like for those that genuinely want to make the weight change, for those that
Hmm.
want to make the mental change, that
Hmm.
want to change the addiction change, like
Hmm.
for those that genuinely want to make change,
Hmm.
you'll make those changes that you really want because if you truly want it, there's
Hmm.
nothing that's going to stop you from getting through what you want.
And that cascades into everything you do. Because even I have security companies that consult with me, and it's like, all right, I want to know where all the bad guys and everything, blah blah. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, but I can do all that. I can find all this for you. But do you want to change your like do you want to change the way you treat your staff? Do you want to change the way you treat your organization? Do you want to switch things around, get
Mm.
new equipment? Do you want to change? And it's like, no, and in some way, shape, or form, like I just seek validation for what I'm already doing. And it's like, well, then I can't help you. You know,
There's no helping at that
there's
point at
no
all
helping
whatsoever.
that point. So why, like, yeah, I'll get paid, but at the same time, it's like, but then it's a theft. Like, I'm not. I want to see you do good. You
Yeah.
know, I want to see you do good. Because if I help you and you do the same thing and something happens, that looks bad on me.
Mm.
Hey, he went there and he helped. See, she didn't help at all. I was like, you know what I mean? I need to see. I like a lot of people are they think they want to change, but oof.
No,
Even from an
they want the
organizational point of
result.
view,
They don't want to go through the process.
yeah, or validation.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The validate, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the glorification of
Mhm.
you achieving something is
Mhm.
much more worth it than actually achieving it.
I just want you to tell me how good I am. It's like, I don't know what you want from me,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. You stroke your ego somewhere else.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of stroking egos, it's not for nothing. I swear to God, the state of which we are in right now,
Hmm.
especially with the fact that how many different videos or how many different times did we see on throughout the whole campaign that this man had that they were going to release a certain list
Hmm.
and that they were going to track down everybody on that list.
I want to, I'm not going to, listen, this is not a defense. This is not an offense statement, but I'm going to give an analogy of of how complicated the
That's why
situation.
I wanted
Yeah.
before I became too
Mhm.
enraged with everything
Mhm.
and started sharing my opinion on social media shit because I
Mhm.
rarely ever talk about
Yeah.
political shit.
Let's talk about all the things that happened while this was happening,
Okay.
right? Um, the the VA disability benefits changed while this was all happening. So if you had sleep apnea, if you had all these things, they lowered your rating. You might want to check that.
You
Yeah,
wait a
yeah,
minute, wait a minute,
yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah. So I that was on maybe it's changed because someone noticed, but they increased benefits for people with psychological disorders. So they
Okay,
increased that.
okay.
But you know, it's
That's the
like what they
plan.
did with the GI Bill. They gave a lot and then they take off a little bit from other places. So review your VA benefits, make sure you're good. I know a lot of people are living around the world and living off that deserved income. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So just check on that. So you see, like, there's a lot of things that happened while that was happening, right? So don't get blindsided.
Well, yeah, that's what
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
tried my
yeah,
hardest
yeah.
because this has been something
Mhm,
because of how much I
mhm,
care about
mhm,
not only just the next
mhm,
generation of kids,
mhm.
but that whole case in general.
Yeah.
Like you're telling me that there's been this list that you've
Mhm,
been promoting, and what pisses me off the most is that again, I hate when people say that he's
mhm,
going to fulfill all the promises that he
mhm.
has.
Well,
This is a promise that I know that he can't because
let's highlight what this situation is, right? So and this is the analogy that I was going to say earlier. So I can't use any names of any amusement parks, but let's just say an amusement park that's very popular, right? Super popular. Everyone wants to go around the world. Okay. You go to this amusement park and you have a good time with your family and friends. Your name is on the record of you being in that amusement park. But you know, there's many levels to this amusement park. You can go see your fate. You can go to all the rides and have the cheap food. Then the other level is you can go to the secret restaurants. And then the other level is you can go and meet all the princesses and all this other stuff if you pay a little bit more. And then you pay and pay and pay, and there's levels,
Mm,
right? But guess what? Your name is on the same list as everybody else that went to that amusement park. See what I mean?
mm,
So, and that amusement park has very powerful people. So, people who are very interested in influencing those people who work for governments are also in that amusement park, and their names are on the list. So, what happens is that you have a list, and everyone and like I'm not gonna say like everyone blames Hollywood, everyone saw the show The Blacklist. Like it's just some PDF file with all the names on it. It's like, okay, do we know what this list even looks like? Well, Pom Bondi says that she had the list on her table. Big freaking mistake. Big freaking
Thank that stop if you know that you can't talk about it to the public. Don't say anything to the public. Don't give them any hints. The stupid motherfuckers are the ones that are doing that shit.
But let's put it this way. A lot of people are quiet now because of this list. A lot of opponents of the administration are quiet.
A certain one that you saw a picture of a certain somebody getting that massage on their back by some a blonde woman, but
yeah, well, listen, and this is the situation we're in. I think our lead as and this is a terrible quote, but it's as above as below, and it's a very Luciferian quote.
Yes, I know where you're getting at.
Yeah. Like so,
as much horrible of a situation as it is, it was used in a tactic to develop a greater.
Well, it's you know what it is. It's like there. I think when people don't have a concept of how evil human beings can go, I think people think like, oh, I know what a bad guy looks like. I watch movies. It's like, no, you have no idea the depths. Like in counter human trafficking, like people are products. People are product. They're dehumanized.
It's a number.
It's a number. And you know what? The majority of these people being trafficked are by their own parents. Okay, so
that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, exactly.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and the number. It's like when you go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, you realize, wow, there's a lot of evil, and it takes a lot of evil to do these things. And when we're in a reality, because this is the first time in history, in recorded history, I should say, that everything is almost instantaneous. You know what I mean? Like, okay, there was a list. You know how hard it would be to have this type of news dialogue in like the 20s when everything was on newspaper? Like there was only so much that can fit on one page. Now everything is like now everything's going through every channel at the same time in unison and almost simultaneously, and it's like all coming from the same scripts, and it's just like so it's like, okay, what is as an individual, why does this list matter to an individual, right? We need to stop worshiping leaders.
I've said it for so long.
Yeah.
We stop putting politicians on shirts. Stop selling their merch. There's no reasons why that we should be celebrating politicians who are public servants.
Exactly. They're humans. We need to start investigating why people who live in the middle of nowhere all of a sudden escalate in power so rapidly. If you look at people who fill certain positions in government, it's like, how did this guy get so quick? Like he was just some guy from Idaho, and now he controls what's going in my food. Like what's going on? Like like what's going? Whoa! How did that happen? You know what I mean? So if everyone stopped wearing the shirts, if everyone it's okay. Be like, hey, that's my guy. Fine, I'm okay with that. Everyone, people wear other men's last name for sports teams on their backs. That's what I mean. Like it's in the culture.
That part I do understand, but that's an athlete versus a public servant. Someone who's supposed to be doing a job for you.
Yeah, but when you start looking at the past of all these athletes and what they get involved with, they're not infallible either. No. So it's like worshiping people in general, it's going to lead to and I'm not saying like you don't have to or this, but do it with caution. Don't get disheartened don't get obsessive. Like, I like that guy. I like how he plays. Cool. You know what? That senator actually passed like 7 out of the 10 bills I wanted him to pass. Great work. That's the average pass rate, right?
Right.
Cool. With this list, right? And you can see the fumbling from all aspects. Now you have, from the last I've checked, you have the director and the deputy director threatening to quit if Pam Bondi doesn't step down. Now we're seeing inner turmoil because of this list, right?
Mm.
But then let's look at society as a whole. Let's say the names come out. Are people really going to change?
No,
No,
no, not at all.
no.
That's why it's like
Yeah.
you guys already talked about this list for so long.
Uh-huh.
Just say the list. The amount of pictures of between Trump and
Mm,
Epstein that are out there
mm,
together, and
mm,
the base still voted for him.
mm-hmm,
The people, the QAnon people, they still voted for him, even
mm-hmm.
though they're fully against child predators and anyone that's against that. Not to
Yeah.
mention that Trump also was caught backstage multiple times with 14 and 15-year-old girls at his own pageants, watching
Mm-hmm,
them get changed and watching them get dressed. And then also having conversations with the parents about giving them money about certain things. But we're also going to push way past that
mm-hmm.
also. But like, I don't believe our country would go into turmoil if this list came out because
Well,
everyone's so stupid and ignorant right now in their own phone.
well, it's like, and then that's the thing that we're at because let's put it this way: we're not in a culture where we punish these people.
No.
We're not. You see these videos of people catching predators at a Walmart, right?
Hmm.
Like, oh, they pretend like
Shout out
they,
Gideon. Gideon's been, I've watched his channel a lot. I love Gideon's channel where he
yeah.
gets to actually sit down and talk with the predators a little bit, and then
Hmm.
they get a chance to confess everything.
Hmm.
But then you even see sometimes in his channel, the law enforcement doesn't even want to get invested with this because it's too dirty, or they don't want to get invested with it because of who it is that they caught.
So what kind of system? You see the issue here is like this is highlighting a larger problem where even at a
Hmm.
micro level we can't handle it. Where
Yeah.
like we have an entire well, like everyone says that. Let's put them in freaking wood chipper, right? That's a good meme, right? It's a great meme, but what's
What are
happening?
they doing?
What are they doing? You know, it's
Now
funny.
in prison, if they get caught, now it's a different story.
You know,
Now
what's
they
funny.
get
What's
totally.
what, what's funny is that like people get badmouth Colombia because it's like, oh, like tourists are going down, they're dying, and I'm like, yeah. Why are they dying? They're trying to hook up with a 14, 13-year-old girl, and the guy's from Germany, and then he goes to the wrong neighborhood. They take everything from him, and he's dead. Like not promoting violence or anything, but
But that's the justice that people talk about.
there's something that happens there, and it's permissive in many different parts of the world, and it's just like, okay, we're seeing something truly bigger, as a problem, and I think that's the big takeaway. I mean, the idea, like I forgot, like this guy, he created like a fake account with a 14-year-old girl, right? And within literally 10 minutes in a chat room, there were 15 adults already trying to get at this individual. And it's just like families need to take control of their own unit,
Oh
you
my
know?
God, that just like that, I legitimately got goosebumps like
Yeah.
hearing shit
Yeah.
like that.
So it's like, great. We're the odds of justice being handed at the top level, forget it.
Yeah, that's
Forget it.
if
Forget
the
it.
average
You
person's not getting it.
are your own first responder right
Mm-mm.
now. You need to make sure your family's good, and if you're fortunate enough to have a big tribe, make sure they're good too, and that
Mm-mm.
you're all on the same page.
Mm.
And the growth of a communal tribe of like, you're my homie, you're my homie. Hey, something happens, we're all in this together. We're gonna train together. We're gonna handle our stuff because you know what? That's the biggest fear of any system is people just starting to be like, you know what? We got it.
Yeah, we don't need you
We
guys.
don't. I have faith in God,
They'll
and
grow the food.
I
We got the meat from
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. Like, hey, listen, he's always gonna have extra pain meds, like, for like Advil, Tylenol, stuff like that on hand. He's pretty good at medical, like first aid and like all this stuff. This guy is our shooter. This guy's our people need to start developing the tribe. That's how humanity advanced so far
Yeah.
to this point. And our tribe has been this, and now we believe in abstract concepts that are
Mhm.
just so hard to grasp, and that's why it's frustrating. Like,
Yeah. No, it's the most frustrating thing is that when people label themselves as either one or the other and
hmm
forget that the true label is we're American at the end of the day.
hmm
Like no matter what, whether you are Republican, Democrat, Independent,
hmm
whatever the fuck you believe in any other way, religious wise,
hmm
whatever you believe in any other ways, political wise, or your own free will wise as well,
exactly.
we have the freedom to do so because we are American at the end of the day
hmm
as well. And people need to start really focusing and honing in on the idealism, what America truly
hmm
is, which is the freedom to express whatever the hell you want to
Hmm.
express, but also at the same time,
Hmm.
not overly expressive because you will face consequences through that. Have the freedom to defend your family
Hmm.
with a weapon that
Hmm.
is needed against an army,
Yeah.
if God forbid that they are invasive,
Hmm.
and be able to truly live the American dream, not
Hmm.
be overly watched and taxed to
Hmm.
death until you're fucking 6 feet under.
Well, let's put it this way. Well, there's all these tariffs, and now there's no tax on tips and everything else. Listen, I'm going to be in full transparency. Like I was, I wasn't like I still kind of have to, like not have to be, but it's like you hope for the best and you pray for the best with what you got,
Yeah.
and that's with Trump. And now I'm
You
seeing,
don't want your pilot to fall
yeah,
asleep.
exactly. I'm like, listen, we're all on this plane together,
Yeah.
right? So right now, what I'm seeing on this plane is that I thought income tax was going to be gone.
Hmm.
And I blame more because we're in New York. Like the price, like you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
the cost of living has not gotten better.
It
You
hasn't gotten better
know?
in fucking 10 years
Yeah,
being here on
exactly.
Long Island,
Mhm.
especially.
Yep.
It's only gotten worse and it's gotten more
Mhm.
populated
Yep.
and everything's gotten more expensive. Make it make sense.
But what's interesting is that because I study the dynamics of real estate, it's like because of these immigration policies, what we're going to see in the future is actually places like Mastic Beach and even up north, I forgot Calverton and those areas.
Yeah.
There's been a mass exodus. Everyone's selling their homes, everyone's wrapping up, everyone's getting out. They're all going back to their countries, you know. And what's going on is like now I'm seeing housing values go down in these areas, you know.
Mm.
So now we're gonna have the people who have been like living with their families and stuff like that. Now maybe, just maybe,
Be able
if
to actually
if
afford
if
home.
if Jerome Powell ever decides to lower the interest rate, because his mentality is, well, people are used to the interest rate.
Wasn't the fucker supposed to step down like recently? Wasn't he
He's
supposed to step down last month?
he was supposed to, but here's the mentality of people who are disconnected from reality. Oh, if people are okay, if we're able to have a booming economy on paper, uh, why am I going to lower the interest rate if everything's doing well? I can only correct the interest rate if it's going terrible or not as planned. Because it's like
Ineffective. We're
imagine
relying on one
if I
man.
hand you a 100 kilogram weight and you're running like 5 minute miles. Why would I take that weight away from you? You're doing well. You see what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's the interest rate.
Yeah.
And that's the interest rate. And that's their mentality. And that's what we're faced with today. And
They
it's
don't see the list of people that are also now getting ready to lose their benefits due to SNAP and through
Mhm.
to all the other benefits that they were getting financial, which to a point in the bill, I can understand if you're not pursuing looking for a job, if
Mhm.
you're not pursuing any type of
Mhm.
employment, if you don't have multiple kids or anything like that, then I can understand to a certain extent because this country is also founded on the backbone of a
Mhm.
working man and a working family.
Here's the thing about that. And this is the part that's not talked about enough. And this is from a few psychological studies that the Army initiated.
Hmm.
Well, you know how we had to take an ASVAB, right?
Right.
That's an IQ test.
Yeah.
And what happens is that like when you convert the ASVAB score to an IQ score, people under an IQ of 85 are they're not like under 85 is like, okay, you're still a human, you can still wipe your own butt, you can still do things. But the more I train you, the worse you're going to get. But they're not mentally disabled. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
What happens is that there's a whole sector in this population, and listen, this is not disparaging of any demographic or anything else, but the reality is there's a portion of this population that if you put them in the workforce, it's going to get bad. You
Hmm.
understand? These are you, and you bump into them. You're wondering you bumping them on the highway. It's like how the hell are you driving? Like what the hell? Like and it's just people who are just grossly incompetent that you
Yeah.
don't even want to put a hammer in their hand. You
Right.
know what I mean? And it's just like I'm not saying excuse these people or have them. Look, man, this country's so wealthy, but this illusion of scarcity that we have, it can only be held up for so long.
Yeah.
Like the whole advent of AI and robots and stuff like that was supposed to be like I only need to work 4 hours a week to gain my income. That was the grand illusion that was paid by the US government as like this fantasy dream in the 1960s that like, oh, the future of the 4-hour workday because technology has handled everything and you still get to make a full income. But our cultural illusionment that exists of perpetual productivity is what's destroying the that reality.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens when people have too much leisure? They start to think more.
Mm-hmm.
They start to plan more. They start to not be afraid. They start to think independently. They start to get ideas. And that's not
Not part of the working man.
yeah,
Not part of the employee.
yeah, and that's not something you want in an employee,
Yeah.
you know? We have some like this is the positivity point that I'm gonna put in because this was going, so I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up. One person can be their own factory now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How insane that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hello. Like
Yeah.
this guy right here, the shirt that I'm wearing, which
Uh-huh.
shout out to Eric and shout out to Base.
Mhm.
This kid was shipping products out of his fucking college dorm.
Yeah.
And now he has turned it into a multi-million-dollar company.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
See, so it's like when you adapt this idea of like, listen, I can write contents and not be the best wordsmith in the world with AI. Oh, I can actually pull studies out to see who my demographics are. Oh, I can actually 3D print all the equipment I can ever need for prototypes. Like
Mm.
this is like the whole system is trying to get you depressed to not think this way. You
Keep you doing
can't,
this.
yeah, to keep you doing like, oh no, everything sucks. Oh my God,
The world
everyone's
sucks. Everyone's on
unemployed.
fire.
And
Everyone
it's
hates each
crazy.
other.
Yeah, that if it's being shown to your face like that, that's the controlled narrative.
Mm.
The narrative that you're not seeing is like this is the best time to get your shit together.
Amount of opportunity that there is right now
Yeah,
currently.
it is. Oh,
At your
oh my God.
fingertips.
Oh my God. All these unemployed developers that are being fired from Meta, from Google, from all these places. You know what they're all going to do? Because they all got severance pay. The idea is
Mm-hmm.
that they all get together and make new and bigger and better companies. Right?
And they
That's
could.
they could. But what stops it? Mentality.
Yeah.
Mentality. And we don't have like there's not enough
The want to change.
no, and there's not enough of that material out there. The good thing that you have this podcast and you're able to convey this and stuff like that. Um, but there's not enough people that are granted the permission to think positively because it's almost like people need permission to think that way.
Mm.
Like, oh, it's not crazy to think that the world can be a better place if I actually
That's because
adapt.
the psychological standpoint is that our brain just loves to focus on a negative.
Hmm.
Our brain is programmed for it, like on a sad, when you're going through a bad mood, what do you
Hmm.
want to do? You listen to sad music.
Hmm.
When you're in the car and you're in that same mood, what do? You throw on a sad station.
Hmm.
Your brain, I learned this when I was in basic training, and I actually had a therapy session
Hmm.
in basic training
Hmm.
from I think it was called BUMD or I forgot the name of the actual
I'm sure the acronyms changed 10
yeah,
times by now.
but yeah, more than likely. And I'll never forget the guy's name because he was also a vet, but his name was he said don't call me anything else but Mr. Anderson. So I said okay. So I said
Matrixy.
got it. I got Mr. Anderson. And I have a picture of him because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have graduated
Wow.
from military police
Oh,
school.
God bless.
But because he enlightened me onto what the brain is truly capable of when you separate the actual truth from the negative emotions that you're currently feeling
Hmm.
because the brain is going to hyper focus on all that negative and hardships and bad things that are
Yeah.
currently going on. Meanwhile, it is much more simpler than people realize
Hmm.
to actually program your brain to then when you start to feel those emotions, you start to see that type
Hmm.
of side of you leak out a little bit in your tone and your
Hmm.
voice or anything else that you're doing. You can check yourself, you can
Hmm.
backtrack, and then you can put yourself into a place mentally where it's just like, okay, what am I complaining about? What am I upset about?
Hmm.
Is this going to bring a solution or is this just going to make me feel bad the whole day?
Hmm.
I'd rather try to nip this in the butt now so I can
Yep.
enjoy the rest of my day.
Hmm.
And ever since he taught me the way of one, take a
Hmm.
step back, breathe, look
Hmm.
at the situation. If there's no solution, move forward.
Yep.
If there's no solution, you got to find a way for you to get past it because there's no sense in you dwelling on a situation that you have no control over.
Exactly.
And that's it. And that advice is damn near 10 years old and
Yeah.
it's stuck with me ever since still.
Yeah. That actually reminds me of an interview with a bomb disposal expert. It was like a female reporter, like talking to this guy, and it's like, how do you do it? How do you do bomb disposal? How do you come in day out, like taking apart bombs? And he's like, well, I look at it in two ways. And it's like, one, I'm trained and everything's going to be better, or two, it's not my problem anymore.
At least in that case, it's swift and quick.
Yes, I think.
But it's so funny that when people the constant complaints that I hear all
Hmm.
day long from people in the
Hmm.
gym, hear what they're currently complaining and what they're sad about, what they're upset about. When the reality is they have so much more control over what their emotions are currently feeling them, that when you are actually able to translate to them what the hell is the reality of the situation versus what your brain is currently making you feel,
Hmm.
their eyes open up like, oh, I can't think like that. Well, sometimes that's why you need the outside voice. That's why you need
They
someone's far perspective.
also don't have comparative hardship. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And like
that's another, yeah.
and like, there's only so, there's things that, like, look, when you're in the military, you get kicked around, and there's a lot of heavy stuff that happens. It's life on fast forward. People you love die, and and it's sometimes by their own hand, or it's sometimes
Yeah.
in combat, and it's just like you're living in dog years. You know what I mean? And
Your body ages like
yeah,
it.
but yeah, exactly. And yeah, 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 dog. Yeah.
80 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, and like when before I went to the army, I stayed in Venezuela for some time,
Hmm.
and the electricity.
So you got a chance to really see what it's like to live in a country like that as well.
Yeah, it's it is. It's like, and in every place there's good and bad, right?
Right.
And but I was in an area where like the water would only flow 1 hour out of the day.
Oh, shit.
The power comes on and off whenever it wants to. And you're whenever you go to the shower, there could be something waiting for you, like a tarantula or something like that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, crazy. I had to kill one with shampoo. That was something. Yeah, no, it was like, oh, and I didn't know. I just squirted. It was just like
All right. Oh, so tarantulas are shampoo. All right. I
Yeah, yeah.
didn't know
I
that.
was just like, I don't know how that instinct came in, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So like, and then all of a sudden, like, we get deployed into Helmand, into Afghanistan. We're in like something that was like a Marine camp, right? And Camp
Hmm.
Wire. And everyone's like, oh my God, this is horrible. I can't believe it. I'm like, wait a minute. These shipping containers got air conditioning? Wait a minute. We got water? We got
All the time?
we got Wi-Fi? Wow, this is not bad at all. But like, you have comparative hardship.
Yeah.
And what happens is that when you don't see the bottom, or you never touched it, or you don't, or you're not
If
in
you
a
get a
place
good
that's
look at it.
comparative, like, because like, there's a lot of moments where like, oh my God, man, I can't fucking believe I'm waiting this long for a goddamn XYZ. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I can be eating shit. Like, I could be like when I was in Helmand, Afghanistan, like our supply routes were cut off. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it was just like, wow, we have now we're living off MREs. We don't have the nice eggs that the people were making. You know what I mean? And now we don't know how many we don't MREs is like really this food that's
Yeah.
all packaged up and made by the lowest bidder. They take
Meals ready,
yeah
and you have the most expired, you have 3-year-old expired candy sitting in
yeah
there for your little bit of a glucose spike and a little
yeah.
bit more. Basically, it was, some of them really weren't that bad.
No.
They really weren't.
Hmm.
I just don't miss being plugged up for a fucking week.
No, no, no. That's why. Oh God, man, I had like this diet tea that helped me balance out. But
I
aside,
remember the rumor of the laxative gum.
yo, but but here's the thing. When you're at that point where you don't know, like when they cut out all the comms from a lot of the cell towers, except T-Mobile, which I was the only one on base that still had signal. It works better in Afghanistan than it did in Colorado. Make that make sense,
All
like.
right, T-Mobile, get your
So
shit
yeah,
together.
yeah.
Fuck is
So
that?
like, but to have people contact their families, make a line to like use your phone so they can make sure that their families know that they're okay.
And that gave you a little more of like
Yeah,
that comfort as well.
yeah, exactly. And it's just like, and when I have that experience to fall back on, everything's easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing too. It's just like, man, if you want to throw yourself into a challenge, whether it's a Spartan run or something like that, man, going through hardship that is really was our choice. We chose to go to the military, you know,
Yeah.
and uh, and like something that is difficult, that's out of your comfort zone, that you can look back on and be like, you know what, I survived that, and that's why everything is going to be better now. You
Hmm.
know, it's nice. It's nice, but it's a rare experience, and that's the price of, I guess, living in a civilized society, which it still is.
Yeah.
Like when you compare to everywhere.
Look, compared to everywhere else, we are
Yeah.
still a very civilized society,
Yeah.
and people just don't fully understand.
They
Because
can get
you got the best basically experience from it. I didn't get a chance to deploy when I was in, and that's one thing I always kind of have that deepest regret for.
Mhm.
But I also wasn't going to resign again and go through 3 more years of bullshit for the opportunity to possibly deploy.
Mhm.
So at that point, it was more so like I understood hardships through a different experience,
Mhm.
through just regular life growing up poor
Yeah.
and really growing up with a leaky roof and
Mhm.
condiments in the fridge, no real food.
Mhm.
So at that point, when I got to the army, and then I had, breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
Mhm.
and I had water all the time that
Mhm.
was clean, and then I
Yeah.
had, decent sleep aside from being woken up for an hour to go do fucking fire guard. Uh, I got we got paid to work out every day.
Yeah, yeah, that's nice.
It really like the hardest thing was you don't
Mhm.
have your phone, so you can't talk to your
Mhm.
family, and
Yeah.
you're away from your family. Those are really the
Yeah,
hardest things about that shit.
exactly.
So all the hardships I went through my entire life made
Mhm.
basic training a fucking breeze.
Yeah.
And then all the shit that I went through when I was in between toxic leadership
Mhm.
and my knees giving out on me in the middle of my PR, in
Mhm.
the middle of my fucking run.
Mhm.
I PR'd on my sit-ups, I PR'd on my push-ups. We're in the
Nice.
middle of my 2 mile run, and both my knees blow out.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that was that. And then at that point, then I also lost my benefits because they failed my PT test.
Oh no.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, wow.
put a DNF.
Mm.
So I got that, and it was that point when I realized, yeah, I'm done. I'm not going to resign no matter what happens.
Mhm.
So experiencing that then brought me to a point where after my time in the military at my heaviest, and then I was also battling that pill and alcohol addiction because
Yeah.
that's what the army gives you.
Yep.
And it's something that I genuinely fought off for myself when I got into the gym because I found something else where I can inflict pain on myself, but in a
Mhm.
positive way.
There we go.
So the route that went down then it made when I was making $75 every 2 fucking weeks just to say that I was learning how to become a personal trainer because I was technically interning
Mhm.
and surviving off of PB&J's, ramen noodles, $5 in a gas tank, and Wi-Fi for your phone, and use WhatsApp to reach out to people.
Wow.
All those things, they sound like it's hard, but when you go through all the other shit,
Mhm.
really wasn't that hard because then it brought me to an area where now post COVID, I was one of the only few trainers that started with that I'm still in my training career.
Wow.
Like I'm still, and it's growing, like,
God
and it's
bless.
advancing to the online realm. Now it's
Mhm.
advancing to over here. Now
Yeah.
it's like I train more people in a week than majority of the people that
Mhm.
I've ever gotten a chance
Hey,
to work alongside with.
takes 10 years to be an overnight success, man.
Yeah, it took me 7.5 years. It took me 7.5 years to finally get to that
Watch that
point.
knife hand, man.
Oh man, dude, this whole conversation, this has been awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I really wanted to have you on here because again, there was so many things that I was like conflicted about between the list and then everything that's going on in this country. Not
Mhm.
only just that, but outside of this country too as well. And you're one of the few resources that I genuinely like to pick your brain off
Mhm.
because you're someone that's just not following the fucking news. You're someone who's actually doing the research and finding what's truly going on. It's also why when you disappeared for a little while, I got a little scared. I was
Yeah.
saying, "What the hell is going to happen? Are we getting attacked now?
You're always
And
like,
can I at least get a heads up?"
like, is everything going to be okay? Yeah, sure. I'm just in the Andes Mountains, but it's going to be fine.
Like, are you sure we're gonna? Why are there drones flying around right now?
Oh my gosh.
So real quick before we wrap things up over here, talk to the camera real quick. Where
Mhm.
can they reach out to you if they want to pick your brain a little bit more?
Yeah,
Try check your website out.
I would say the easiest way is at Rickynomics, Rickynomics at on Instagram. Click the link. You can go see my Patreon. Cool stickers like that are also going to probably be up for sale. I'm, it all helps the mission. It all helps in a lot of my access to research. So I'm able to publicize. And if you have an inquiry or a business inquiry, just go ahead DM me, and that's it, man.
Listen, man, like if there's anything that I would really truly hope for is that people support everything for your business because the truth needs to be heard from
Yeah,
actual truthful resource,
I
not
got
from
you.
a point of perspective, I'm sorry, not from a point of opinion,
Hmm.
but from a point of perspective and
Hmm.
what you've been able to personally see that is the truth.
Hmm.
So once again, man, I truly do
It's
appreciate
been
it.
an honor, man. Thank you
It's been an
so
honor. It's
much.
been a great time.
Hell yeah.
On to the next one, guys. Whenever we see you again, and I'll definitely this won't be the last time. I definitely got to have you on here again.
Oh, hell yeah.
Once things start to slow down again, and then we'll see where we're at towards the end of this year in the country.
Hey,
I definitely would love to have you back on again because this was just fun. I love
this
shooting
was
the shit.
fun. Yeah, I liked it.
I love just shooting the shit, especially with other vets too as well. Because I also there's an experience that I get a chance to live through as well with you guys because I do understand a lot of the shit, but I never got a chance to really fully deploy,
Hmm.
never get a chance to really fully enact in my military police career. But I wanted to at least be able to have veterans on here that I can hear their stories and live vicariously through you guys through a basic point of understanding, but then also give an opportunity for the public to know what it truly means when you serve this country and how people react to deployments and what happens overseas and the truth that happens overseas. So, once again, I truly do appreciate you coming on here and sharing all the things that you have shared.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully, people listen and I pray that they
Mhm.
support.
Hey, thank you, man.
This has been Welshcare,
Thank
guys.
you all.